Welcome to Strip Cover Lit, where we squeeze the bigger picture out of literature. I am Adrian Ford, and we are here for another poetry discussion. Today we're looking at some Robert Frost. This is, I would say, probably Frost's third best known poem, but second most loved poem, because no one likes After Apple Picking, I don't think. So this is Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. Let me ruin the sound real quick. I just put that on. I don't know why I do that. Stopping by the woods on a snowy evening. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there's some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are lovely and deep and dark. The woods are lovely, dark, and deep. But I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep. And miles to go before I sleep. I think that the obvious question, given the introduction that I gave this poem, is why is this poem so loved? It is a pretty scene, but why is it so loved? And I think that is because of the meta-level irony employed herein. The thing that sticks out when reading the poem is the nuance between our speaker and his little horse. They're in a skiff over whether or not this stop should be made. There are other individuals, however, which are implicated by the poem. The person who owns the woods, who will not see our speaker stopping, and presumably would not care too much if he or she did. Otherwise, more than mentioning where they are, our speaker might mention some type of consequence. So it is understandable in our speaker's mind that the owner of the woods would understand what he's doing. And our speaker then has promises to keep. Promises to which he must tend. Those are wherever he is going, we are left to presume. But those people to whom he has promises to keep are not mentioned, because they don't matter. And he does have miles to go before he sleeps. Miles to go before he sleeps. These things don't matter. This poem is an example of man versus nature. The snow is very cold. And man versus wild. That horse has a disagreement with him. But the real struggle is with himself, as he struggles with his want to consume beauty. What he's doing, stopping by the woods on a snowy evening, is searching not for entertainment. There's not much going on. He's just watching woods fill up with snow. But he is consuming beauty. He is consuming some type of art. Because there is something therein to be derived. In his stop, he is hoping that through some beautiful setting, he will grow as an individual. And for this, he is willing to sacrifice sleep. Why, then, does that make this one of Frost's better loved poems? Because it's what we're doing with poetry. In the same way that he stops to watch a wood fill up with snow, despite the fact that he has a horse telling him, come on man, it's cold, that he has promises to keep, and that he is not on his land. He's going to do so. He's going to stop. He's going to consume this beauty. That's what we're doing reading this poem. That's what I'm doing recording this video, and it's what you're doing watching it. I've got tons of things I could be doing right now, but I stopped to read a little Frost. There's probably something more productive that you could or should be doing, but you stopped to look at my handsome face. There are things that we in day-to-day life will sacrifice in order to consume some type of beauty, in order to... This isn't even entertainment. It is a growing of the soul. It is a growing of the individual. He might lose sleep by observing this snow, but he will be more full in his sleep from having done so. So where is that to be weighed? How do we check those boxes? I know that in Kansas City, every time I go to the Nelson Atkins, we have a Caravaggio painting. And if I don't stop and see that painting, I don't feel that the trip was worth it, and it is off to me. Last time I went, that painting was out getting cleaned, and I was upset. For what reason? I've seen it 100 times. I could Google it right now and look at it if I wanted to. But there is something different, more profound, if you will, from standing in front of the work and observing it. And there is no caloric intake involved. There is no protein value to that painting. But I really like it. So why do I feel better when I do see it and worse when I don't? Despite the fact that there is nothing physical, no physical exchange going on. I don't really have an answer. And it would make me the happiest girl in the world if you could use the comment section below and inform me. Is there something that I'm missing? Is there some small thing, some obvious thing that I'm not taking note of here? Why is it? Is it that way for everyone? Is it not that way for everyone? Is nuance one of those things that, like nuance with art in general, the more you know, the more profound it gets? Is there some piece of art like this for you? Something that you must stop and see every time you're near? That's all I've got for this discussion. I apologize for the brevity, but I wasn't really planning on making the video. I just sat down and read the poem and decided, yeah, let's do that one. So that is all for this time, and I hope to see you in the next episode of Strip Cover Lit.